Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. What's going on, people? It's a very exciting Wednesday. The chat is up and running, and I'm going to put up a quick poll. All right. All right. Do you think the U.S. should be at war with Iran? Start poll. Let's see if that gets any response. How's it going? Hey, at least I remembered to do a poll. One day in a row again. I'm hot. What's on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about today? Anything exciting? Anything boring? Afternoon chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The guest stars of this show are the people in the chat room. They determine what we talk about. They have control of the show. The show has no script. It has no agenda. I get on here 5 days a week and I'm just winging it. What we talk about is essentially up to you guys. If you want to be able to chat, you need to get that Discord app from YouTube. It's free. The show's free. No midstream ads, no sponsors. Nothing's behind a paywall. I'm not coming out with a line of merchandise. I'm not running for political office. I'm not trying to become an online influencer. I'm trying to meet people and find out what's on their mind. What are your priorities? I have a freedom of speech here in the United States. Gives me a lot of leeway. Some people in other foreign countries do not have. Do not get into the chat and get yourself into trouble with your own government. We do need to follow the community guidelines established by YouTube. They're the only platform we're on, so let's not piss them off. Okay? No set topic, no agenda. If you want to change the topic, jump in the chat. You'll find that the show will pivot on a dime. When no one gets in the chat, we're stuck with wherever my mind happens to wander on a given day. My mind is on war today. For now. I am against war. All wars. I don't like them. I believe that every bloodline is necessary for the betterment of the human race. You don't know whose grandchild could get educated and grow up to cure which disease. You don't know. No one does. But whatever problems we have on planet Earth must be fixed by the human beings. Bears and antelope and deer and wolves and bunny rabbits aren't going to fix squat. The problems on planet Earth are the human beings. The fish ain't going to do it. The frogs ain't going to do it. The mosquitoes ain't going to do it. It's up to the human beings to repair Earth's problems. In my opinion, feel free to jump in and express yours. If you think a jackrabbit from Colorado is going to solve Earth's global warming, let me know. Maybe you can educate me. Maybe there's something I'm not looking at. I can only offer my perspective, one guy sitting on his couch in Michigan. I'm not connected. I'm not in the information pipeline. I might have missed something. You never know. I just think that war is bad. We need all those human beings. Every single bloodline. We need them to have children. We need them to get educated until they can solve our problems. That's how our problems get solved. Human beings come up with an idea. Yes, I smoke cigarettes and pot. I don't recommend you do either. Just because you see me doing something don't mean you should do it. Excuse me. My faults are my proof that I'm not AI. AI doesn't smoke. So what's on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about? It's my take that all war is bad. Innocent people always get killed. They always get maimed. They always get injured. It's my belief that even when you win a war, you end up losing. It is not good. That's my personal opinion. I've never been to war. Don't want to go. Sometimes wars are thrust upon you. Other times, not so much. My personal belief on this war with Iran is this is the Epstein class. The pedophile cabal that runs the United States. They're trying to distract you from the fact that they have not released all of the Epstein files, that they have not prosecuted all of the people in the Epstein files. They have failed to do their job. The cover-up is just as bad as the crimes. As far as I'm concerned, every one of these people involved in the cover-up is the same as the bank robbery where you're the getaway car driver. You may not enter the bank, but you're still guilty of all those crimes. You may not have molested the child, but by covering up for the people that did, you're guilty of those crimes. I believe all of this war is nothing but a distraction. Well, there's two trains of thought. Number one, Trump wanted the Nobel Peace Prize and he was denied. Since then, all he's done is start wars. They hurt his little feelings. Baby got to lash out, right? The other is that it's all to cover up for the Epstein pedophiles. None of these people should be getting away with it. They should all be prosecuted. Personal opinion. It's all I can offer you. I think all war is bad. There's no reason for it. No country on the planet Earth wants to attack the United States. They would consider it to be a suicide mission. Our military is the biggest. They are the baddest. We have more weapons, more technology, a bigger army. They don't want to attack us. These people that are in charge need to control their fears. You're letting your imagination run away with you. No country is going to attack the United States of America. Our military is too well funded, too big, too powerful. Any country that did attack the United States would be crushed instantly. It's not going to happen. But when you have leaders that cannot control their fears, their imagination runs away with them, just like the 3-year-old laying in bed. Daddy, can you put on a nightlight? There's monsters in the closet. As the adult, you need to teach that child to control their fears, to control their imagination. No country on earth wants to attack the United States of America. Our military is too big, too powerful. Plain and simple. I don't care how much they dislike us, they're not going to attack. There would be nothing left of their country. That's my opinion. There is no reason for the United States to be at war with anyone. In my opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and voice yours. These people, the pedophiles I'm talking about, the Epstein class, the pedophile elite of America, are trying to distract you. They don't want you to want the rest of the Epstein files out. They don't want you to make them prosecute their buddies. All the Epstein files need to come out, and all of the pedophiles need to be prosecuted. Not just the one, all of them. What happened on Epstein's Island, Little St. James Island, it was the center for the world's espionage. An espionage playground, if you will. Bankrolled by both Mossad and the CIA. The United States government knew all of those crimes were taking place and turned a blind eye. They wanted Epstein to get the dirt on politicians and world leaders so that they would have blackmail evidence to control and manipulate them. These crimes went on for in excess of 30 years. They knew about it and they allowed it to continue. They thought, as long as we've got the film of that guy doing something bad, something heinous, we can get him to do as we wish. Epstein was not only a pedophile, but he was a pimp. He was peddling these women and getting dirt on all of these people and turning around and selling that dirt to the different governments. I know for a fact it involved Israel through Mossad, the United States through the CIA, and Russia. They were getting girls from Russia. This was such an extensive network, it covered many, many nations throughout the world. They wanted spy information and technology that they could pass around and sell and resell. I believe Israel has videotape of Donald Trump molesting children. I believe that same videotape, a copy was sold to Russia. Vladimir Putin has the same tape. Thus, Russia and Israel are controlling the US president via blackmail. That's what I see from my corner of my couch, sitting here in Michigan. You may see something different. Maybe you've got some inside knowledge I don't have. I know that these were heinous crimes, and there are many, many victims that are still being victimized because the truth is not coming out. The prosecutions are not being made. The reason that Trump is doing this is because he's forced to. He's being played. He doesn't want the truth to come out because he knows he would be impeached and without power. He knows he would go to jail. That's all you need to know. The NATO countries, should start hacking and get their own copies of the video. Someone should publish all of the unredacted Epstein files. Let the entire world know what these guys were doing. Corporate bigwigs, the elite, the billionaire class, they're all dirty. And they don't care. They do not want to pay for their crimes. They would just as soon U.S. servicemen and women die. They're starting wars to cover up their crimes. You've heard it over and over. The cover-up is worse than the crime. That's my opinion. I don't see this ending well. And I'm not going to drop the Epstein thing. Not at all. They need to pay for their crimes. The Epstein files, I don't think we've even seen 5%. Remember, this went on for 30 years. They've had dirt on politicians because of this for years. The Epstein class, these sexually deviant billionaires, if you will, without paying the price for their crimes, they're not going to stop committing those same crimes. They'll continue. Epstein was a pimp. He's dead. Who took his place? Who's the new pimp on the block? These deviants still want women. Why would they stop? They paid no penalty. You going to take your kid up to the White House and drop him off with the pedophile? I'm not. They're not going to stop. Some other pimp took Epstein's place. They got all the dirt on these people. They want more on other people. They're not going to stop any of it. I don't even think 90% of Epstein's crimes were ever investigated. And by allowing this to be covered up, allowing this to remain hidden from our society, these people are just as guilty as the ones that molested the children. They're all bad. Why hasn't one of them, just one, stood up and said, I feel guilty. I'll testify about what I saw, what I took part in. Why hasn't one of them turned state's evidence to testify against the rest? Because they think they're going to continue to get away with it. Don't let them. If we allow them to get away with it, they will continue doing it. It's all very sick, very heinous. These people are very demented. They do not have morals. They do not have ethics. They have greed and deviance, a deviant behavior pattern. And it's not going to stop. There is no incentive for them to stop. When they get away with it, that's my opinion. So what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about today? We can discuss anything you want to discuss. You want to talk about Nancy Guthrie? I don't see any chance that she remains alive. The kidnappers would have produced some proof of life and continued to try to get the money. They gave up on it because she has passed away. Personal opinion, I don't have any proof. I don't think there was anything happened across the border. I think that was all a distraction meant to befuddle the FBI, who appear to be lost. Under Kash Patel, they appear to be completely lost. The people that kidnapped Nancy, they had a plan. It was very well thought out. 3 days after her abduction, they sent a ransom demand. They did not send this to the Guthrie family. They sent it to TV stations. That ransom demand was extremely well worded, well structured. Paragraphs, sentence structure, punctuation, it was all right where it should be. It leads me to believe this is a highly educated criminal with no experience. The bumbling I saw on the porch video, this person has no experience with what they're doing. They are intelligent, they are highly educated, but they have no criminal experience. I believe this was put together by a failed professional in the Tucson area. Someone with some work experience approaching houses they did not own. I'm thinking a realtor, a real estate broker, perhaps. Familiar with the local area, the streets. The way the guy moved in the video, I'm thinking he's a former athlete that did not have the talent to go pro. Got the college education, played in sports, but after college, entered the workforce trying to become successful and then failing. That's my take on it. And I believe for the first 3, 4, 5 days, Nancy was alive. The flaws in the plan were minuscule. The fact that the authorities were able to get the brand of the backpack and that kind of stuff, I think that this person that planned all of this thought it out, but they probably failed on a minor level. Meaning they could not keep her alive because they did not have her medications. She was ambulatory. She had problems moving. She's 84. I do not believe they drove her into the city. She was in a suburb when she was abducted. I do not believe they would have taken her into the city or across the border. I'm thinking that initially their plan was to abduct her and stash her in someplace underground with running water, a basement bathroom, if you will. As far as identifying the kidnapper, I would say the jacket would be your best bet. I would say that jacket, run it through the cameras of Home Depot or Lowe's prior to the abduction. Look for that jacket through cameras on outlying fast food restaurants, not downtown, outlying areas, fast food restaurants. These people are not caring individuals. They would not cook for her. No nurturing abilities at all, or they would have had her meds. They were probably feeding her fast food until she passed. Going through the drive-through, look for the jacket in that drive-through video until you find a match. Personal opinion. I also believe that this educated kidnapper would not have kept her in his own residence. I would look for an abandoned school or a church with a basement. Something that still might have power and water. But something that would not attract attention if a real estate vehicle pulled up in the middle of the day. Perhaps, well, in the high desert, there are not very many underground facilities. I would probably start with a property search. How many basements are in Tucson? I'm going to guess maximum of 12 for the whole city. An abandoned building with an underground plumbed and have to have water. I would think that they would have like found a underground restroom and then went to Lowe's and got like an exterior door to put with deadbolt locks. And then they would have had to feed her fast food. And then they either abandoned the building completely and quit going back there after she passed, or they would have had to dispose of her body somewhere, which would probably be in a cave or an abandoned mine, something like that. Once again, underground. But I don't think this was an experienced criminal. The person that I saw on the porch tape did not appear apprehensive about walking up to an unknown building. He did not appear uncomfortable or in a hurry. But it's my belief that there had to be more than one. I would assume that they entered through the back and exited through the front. They couldn't have taken her cross country. She had troubles walking, trouble moving around. They found some of her blood on the front porch. So I'm assuming like they were carrying her and dropped her. Or she stumbled and fell at that point. But I hope that family can get some closure. My heart goes out to them. None of this is good. Personal opinion. I have no inside information. And I haven't been to Tucson in 40 years. 40. A long time. But in the high desert, there are no basements. Most of those homes are built on a slab. I would think in an abandoned industrial property or an abandoned school or something on the north side, semi-rural, I would say no more than a 10-minute drive from her house. 15 minutes tops. It's just like a drug dealer. While you're in motion, while you're transporting, 95% of all drug arrests happen in a motor vehicle. That's the time where you're at risk. This criminal would have known that he cannot carry her around in a vehicle for an extensive period of time. It's too at risk. A 10 to a 15-minute drive from her home. An abandoned building, preferably a school or a church, something where people aren't going to go. A property that's not going to sell. I would guess 2 perpetrators. That's a guess. 1 for the front door, 1 for the back. But hopefully they'll come up with something. They'll find something. But I honestly believe that coat, someone that's having financial difficulties enough that they're going to commit a crime, probably is only wearing 1 coat. I don't think they thought it through completely because I don't think they have any experience. They probably put together a very legit plan, but that legit plan failed when she passed away. That's my belief. And I'm thinking, she was injured when they're taking her out of the house. 3 days later, when the ransom note arrives at the TV stations, I'm figuring she's still alive at that point. But then probably died within the next 48 hours because when the family responded and said, we need proof of life, no proof of life was ever sent. So I'd say within 2 weeks prior, search the Lowe's and Home Depot cameras for that coat. And then in the week after the abduction, I would think the fast food drive-through windows. Search those films for the same coat. At day 3, when they sent the ransom letter, she had to be alive, or they would not have sent the letter. in my opinion. Hopefully, they'll get a break in the case. They might also look for, open mines or caves that are nearby the suburb that she was taken from. That'd be my best guess. But I'm thinking someone with at least a bachelor's degree. A failed business person. I'm thinking a real estate broker. Someone that's accustomed to walking up to empty houses, that feels comfortable in that type of environment. Hopefully the police and the FBI will do something and turn over a stone and find something. But, it's all very heinous. An 84-year-old woman that's been abducted. It cannot end well. Even if she were to be recovered alive, she would be suffering from PTSD for the rest of her life. I mean, such a traumatic experience. Cannot have a good ending as far as I'm concerned. So what else you guys want to talk about? I've covered war, pedophiles, and kidnappers. What's next? It's 50 degrees out here. As soon as I get off this show, I am going to go out for a walk. Got to get some exercise and some fresh air. Take advantage. The first week of March to have this kind of weather in Michigan, hip, hip, hooray. I'm ready to start looking at the trees and seeing if they're getting any buds on them. That's the first sign of spring. I'm ready for spring. But yeah, I'll get off the show at 5 and I'll probably call Crumbelina and see if she wants to walk with me. We walked yesterday. It wasn't as warm as it is today. But it's nice. So, what else on your mind? I'm going to fry some chicken for dinner. Boneless, skinless breast, grilled in butter, fried in butter, and probably a baked potato. I had that was weird. I had a hamburger patty with baked beans yesterday. Chicken today. And I'll probably do Italian tomorrow. Some type of pasta with meat sauce. It's hard to cook for one person. It was hard to cook for teenage boys. They're bottomless pits. They don't ever get full. 15 minutes after dinner, they're looking through their fridge. And now in my retirement, it's hard to cook for one. But I definitely can't afford to go out to dinner every night, so I gotta cook. I think most people cook most of the time. Maybe some people living in the big cities are going out all the time, but I think most people cook. YouTube does tell me I got to ask people to like and subscribe to the channel. If you could do that, it'll help us out a little bit. If you can't do it, don't worry about it. I'm not sweating it. I'm gaining views. I'm gaining subscribers. It's slow and methodical. I'm not really sure who YouTube puts this show in front of. I'm not paying for any advertisements of any kind. I'm not doing any marketing. I am in 3 different algorithms on YouTube. One for the live stream, one for the shorts, and one for extended shorts, I call them, little short videos. No bites on the pole today. No, not too much going on. Maybe it's a bad pole. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of feeling my way through this, trying not to screw up too much. I tell people it's like a blind man that just bought a new house. Just trying to learn my way around without busting my nose, you know. But yeah, I hauled trash earlier and I was outside and I thought, man, this is nice. Then I checked the temperature and saw that it was over 50 and I'm like, wow, I gotta go for a walk today. So what do you guys got going on? What's going on in your part of the world? What's on your mind? What are your priorities? I'm just drinking my Gatorade. Not too much else going on. That's what retirement is. You're not busy. When I was young, I was busy all the damn time. Nowadays, I'm rarely busy. And I like it. I slept good last night and I took an hour nap today. Both. Yeah. Naps are good, in my opinion. So what's going on with you guys? hopefully, hopefully the world will find a way to get a break from the wars and the pedophiles and the criminals and all these people that are just greedy bastards. The world needs to catch a break from these people. They're just out of control. They're making money on this crap. It's what they do. Hopefully our next president in the United States will break up all these major corporations that are causing all this chaos. It's definitely the corporations. They're bribing our politicians. They control the news media. The war broke out. I turned on and I checked all the channels, and most of them were pro-war. They're owned by the same guys that are bribing the politicians. They wish to normalize this crap. It's not normal. I don't think it is, anyways. But I've never started a war. Thank goodness. I set a couple of ex-wives on a war path, but I've never started a war. I don't know why. Some of these former FBI agents should turn whistleblower. I think that's what we, not leaks. We don't need leaks, but we need whistleblowers. We need some hackers to get to the rest of the Epstein files. The government full of pedophiles is not going to release the Epstein files that show you how guilty they are. They're just not going to do it. Whistleblowers and hackers are our best bet for getting this information out. I had to stop reading the Epstein files. They were so gross. They were so heinous. I saw one part about a 9-year-old girl. I saw one with a 13-year-old girl that had Down syndrome. These people are sick. Normal people don't do this kind of stuff. At least not any normal people I've ever met. And believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe, but believe it or not, most of the people on this planet are good people. They're not sitting around plotting against other people. They're simply working and trying to take care of themselves, their loved ones, and build for their future and make a better life for their kids than they had, you know? It's these sick puppies that they've all devolved into something gross, something obscene. I think it comes from having no limits. They already possess generational wealth. They don't have to work. Their kids will never have to work, and their kids' kids are never going to have to work. And they're still so greedy, they'll cheat their own mother to get more money. to get more power. It's absurd. When we go to vote here in America, the smartest thing we can do is to put a revolving door on all of our political seats. Don't re-elect anyone. Get all new personnel in. The ones we have in there are crooked. They've got to go. I don't care if you like them. Do you realize how cheap it is to be on TV? $13.99 a month. YouTube gives me 2 channels. Every one of these politicians doesn't have to have a news conference. They could come on YouTube just like I'm doing. They could speak out against all of this evil shit that's going on in the world. They choose not to do it. They're taking part in all this evil shit. They're involved with the cover-up. They're the ones that are taking the bribes. There's 100 U.S. senators. How many of them do you see saying we should not be at war? There are 435 members of the House of Representatives. How many of them do you see on national TV saying we should not be at war? Why aren't they all out there? Because they're okay with the war. They're okay with the war because it makes the military-industrial complex rich. Every missile that they launch costs us millions of dollars. All of those missiles will be reordered. You think that's creating the jobs that you want in America? I don't. U.S. service members are dying. They're getting maimed, disfigured, wounded. None of this is good, folks. None of it. I can't stop a war. But I'm also not looking to make money off of a war. But if you're working in the defense industry, you're making bank right now. They just said, let's amp up production. Let's get these missiles cranked out. I don't think that's the economy stimulus package that we want. Okay. They can say they're running out of bullets, but they're not. They're not running out of bullets. They're not running out of bombs. They want you to think you are, so that next year's budget, it's got $1 trillion for military spending, just like every year. Think about that. Every year. And it's been every year for decades. U.S. military is not running out of bombs. And I guarantee you, corporate America is going to show a profit on this war. They show a profit on every war. It's what they do. All right. Anybody want to make a comment? Anyone want to jump in? Well, I don't know what to tell you. I've never started a war. I can't stop a war. I've never kidnapped an 84-year-old woman, and I can't rescue her. There are a lot of things in this world that we cannot affect, that we cannot change. But I can guarantee you, when I get into a voting booth, I'm not going to reelect anyone. I want brand new people at every position. No incumbents at all. Because they're dysfunctional. They're not doing their job. If they were doing their job, it wouldn't be a problem. When they're not doing their job, it's time to remove them and get new personnel in there. Hopefully, the new personnel will do better. I don't see it fixing itself. These people are okay with war this year. They're going to be okay with war next year. They're going to be okay with war the year after that. If they're making money now by bribing your politicians, by feeding you propaganda through your news channels, they're going to be okay with that next year too. If we keep repeating the same mistakes, we're never going to move forward. In my opinion. I mean, feel free to voice yours. These people keep bribing the politicians and controlling the news media, creating a narrative that are just trying to say, oh, it's okay that the U.S. went to war. They were about to attack us. They've been about to attack us for 30 friggin' years. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this song and dance. Control your fears, you fools. Get a grip on life. Get a grip on reality. There is not a country on this planet that wants to attack the United States of America. We've got the toughest military in town. They're not going to do it. It would be suicide. Trump is poised to get Cuba. He's poised to get Ecuador. I don't know. Do you think he's going to go after Greenland? He'll do anything to get you to let this Epstein stuff go because he is a pedophile. As far as I'm concerned, they're all pedophiles until they release all of these papers and have real bona fide investigations and get cleared. They're just as guilty. They're the getaway car driver. They're responsible for those crimes, even if they didn't commit them themselves. They're helping. They're involved in the cover-up. They're all bad. You think, oh, the Democrats are good. Oh, the Republicans are good. They're both bad. They're both being bribed by the same corporations, by the same elites. All of these guys, they're all taking bribes. They're all part of it. It's just disgusting. The news media is not giving you the truth. They're not giving you the full story. They're trying to normalize this behavior. Every time they say Trump has been exonerated, no one has been exonerated. Everyone has been implicated. All of them have been implicated. They are using your fears and they are caving to their own fears. They're afraid that you're going to make them pay for their crimes. And I'm telling you, you need to make them pay for their crimes. That's the only way to stop their behavior. I don't understand why people let them distract you. They're not distracting me, not for a minute. The Epstein class is doing all of this to cover up for their crimes. And people are dying in these wars, these unnecessary wars. The Israelis are involved in their own version of genocide. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm anti-genocide. There were 2 million Pakistanis, or not, excuse me, Palestinians. There were 2 million of them when they started this. How many of them are there now? A lot less. And they're going to take their land. Beachfront property. Kill the people, build whatever you want on the land. That's their plan. A genocide happened. Hitler committed a genocide. He did. Now, the Israelis are committing their own genocide. They're destroying all of these people, running them out, saying, you can't live here anymore, get out. They're starving them to death. They're bombing hospitals and schools, killing left and right. If killing was the answer, wouldn't all the bad guys be dead by now? That's not the answer. That's the problem. Stop killing people. That's my opinion. I've never killed anyone. I'm turning 69 next week. I've never killed anyone. Most people haven't. These sick pedophiles, the Epstein class, will never change their behavior unless they get prosecuted. That's my opinion. Feel free to voice yours. But I'm telling you, the speeder, the guy that's driving in excess of the speed limit, doesn't stop speeding until when? When he gets pulled over and he gets tickets. Then he says, well, I better slow down. I'm tired of getting these tickets. And eventually they're not going to let me drive anymore. Well, we got to do the same thing with the Epstein class. They've got to answer for their crimes. If they don't answer for their crimes, what's going to happen? They're going to keep on molesting children. They're going to keep on pimping women. They're going to keep on keeping on. They won't stop. They have no incentive. It's unbelievable. But that's where we are in 2026. The Epstein class, the elites, the mucky mucks are starting wars to cover up their crimes against humanity. And the crimes are what? Against humanity. They're doing it now. They're killing innocent people to cover up for what they've done, attacking innocent people themselves. It's all wrong. Iran would never attack the United States because it would be suicide. Venezuela will not attack the United States. Cuba will not attack the United States. Ecuador will not attack the United States. Greenland will not attack the United States. We're the big bad bully. We're the bad guy because of the elite pedophiles. They're running the world. The people of the world have to hold them to account, or their actions will continue. A man with no morals last year does not just grow morals this year. He has none. The unethical don't grow ethics on their own. They have none. They're going to keep on killing, keep on stealing, and keep on raping our children. I guarantee you, Jeffrey Epstein was a pimp and he's dead. I guarantee you another pimp has taken his place. The billionaires are still going through women. They haven't stopped. They haven't even slowed down. They have no incentive to stop. And they own the media, and the media is saying, well, this is normal. This is not normal. None of this is normal. I firmly believe that both Russia and Israel have tapes of Donald Trump molesting children. That's why this is happening. That's why we're at war. That's why the Ukraine war is not settled. They've got dirt on little Donnie. They're blackmailing him. He is not representing you. He is not representing me. He's trying to protect himself, and he doesn't care how many people die because he has no morals. None. Anyone that will rape a child will not stop raping children unless you make him stop. That's my opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and express yours. But I'm telling you, this is not going to end well. They're just going to keep on doing the exact same things. Cheating, stealing, abusing. This deviant behavior will not stop itself. It will continue. Who took Epstein's place? Who's pimping those girls now? The debauchery is not going to stop on its own. They show no remorse. Not one of these guys had stood up and said, I'll turn state's evidence. I'll testify about what I saw. Not a one of them. Because they can get away with it. If they can get away with it, why would they stop? The answer to this is simple. We need to see all of the Epstein files, and all of these people in the Epstein files need to be prosecuted. They all need to go to jail. Every sick little billionaire that's running around abusing children needs to be put behind bars. Donald Trump does not have a backbone. He does not have a spine. He cannot stand up to his blackmailers. Russia has dirt on Donald Trump. We saw that in his first term when he did the Helsinki hand job. They have the tape. They have the film. As does Israel. They've got the dirt on the man. They control him. He's not representing you and I. He is trying to cover his own ass so he can maintain his power. That's what all of this is about. They're cooking the books. You don't know how much they've stolen. They've stolen billions and billions and billions. They're not done either. They're just going to keep on stealing, keep on killing, keep on raping until they're held accountable. That's my opinion. I can't give you any solutions to these problems. We need to see all of the Epstein files in their entirety, and we need special prosecutors, and we need to prosecute all of these pedophiles, all of these customers. We need the banking records, even though they're going to show that the United States government was paying Epstein. All of these guys knew this was going on. This has been going on for 30 years, 3 decades. They knew what was happening at Epstein's Island. Some of Epstein's properties were never even searched by the FBI. They stopped investigations. Wouldn't you like to know who ordered them to stop these investigations? In Trump's first term, the state of New Mexico wanted to investigate. The Trump Justice Department, back then run by Bill Barr, came to them and said, back off, don't investigate this, we got it. And then never investigated. And then all of a sudden, Epstein turns up dead. He was murdered. That's the way it looks to me, but all I have is common sense. The guy on suicide watch, mysteriously, not 1, but 2 cameras go down. Not all the cameras, just the 2 watching Epstein's cell. This was not a preserved crime scene. Nope. The first thing they did was they ran in there and what? Destroyed all the evidence. Gosh. Not 1, but 2 guards mysteriously fell asleep on the same night at the same time. Of course, you can't sleep on your job. I can't sleep on my job. But we're not highly trained corrections officers. It's all criminal. Every which way but loose. It's all criminal. It's all horrible. It's all horrific. It's all everything you can dream it to be. Until we see the truth. And the truth comes out in a court of law before a judge. If you let these pedophiles continue, they will rape your children. They will continue to kill. They will continue to steal. They have no incentive to stop. They have no incentive to slow down even. I'm sorry, but it's ugly. It's all ugly, and all of these people are ugly. I want to know who the CIA was getting dirt on and how were they blackmailing and who were they blackmailing. They allowed Jeffrey Epstein's island to go because they were getting dirt on people. What happened to that dirt? Who did they blackmail and what did they force them to do? They blackmailed somebody. They were getting girls from Russia. And I heard that somebody saw something in Epstein files to say that there were dead bodies buried in Epstein's property. That Epstein had an incinerator built so that he could dispose of bodies. Wouldn't you like to know the truth of all that? These people are all in it, and they're chin deep in it. They're the scum of the earth. The Epstein class, the billionaire pedophiles, will not stop. They have no incentive to stop. And now they're attacking Iran. I remember back in the 70s, the Shah of Iran. U.S. was trying to do regime change. So for 50 years, the United States has been meddling in the Iranian people's business. No wonder they hate us. Duh. Why not leave those damn people alone? They're not going to attack. They would get slaughtered. No government is going to attack the United States. Yes, we had 9/11. That was not a foreign government. A foreign government knows better. If you attack the biggest, baddest guy on the block, what happens? You get your ass handed to you quickly. This is all a distraction. Don't fall for it. If you don't fall for it, what happens? We keep bugging about the Epstein files until we get them all, until those people are prosecuted, until those people are held accountable for their actions. We should not be in any wars. We don't have to be in any wars because our military is so badass. No one is going to attack us. You want to end the war in Ukraine? Real simple. Extremely simple. So simple, it'll knock your socks off. Give Ukraine the weapons to put Russia back in the Stone Age. Give them 1 million drones a month for 6 consecutive months. When Ukraine starts launching 30,000 drones a day consistently, when Russia has no power, no water, no air force, that war is going to end real fast. It would end instantly. The reason that war is dragging on into year 5 is because not enough people are on Zelensky's side. On planet Earth, no matter what task you're trying to achieve, the solution is simple. Get more people on your side, more human beings on your team. I don't care whether you're trying to build a house or win a war. Doesn't make a difference. What you need is more help. More human beings on your team does what? Lightens your own workload and speeds up your success. That fast. Give Ukraine 1 million drones a month for 6 consecutive months. Let them launch 30,000 drones a day into Russia, and the war will end fast. The drones are the key. You see that. That's what's tearing up the Middle East right now is drones. Drones and missiles. It's not boots on the ground. That's not the solution. It's drones and missiles. Take out their power, take out their supply lines, and what do you have? Guaranteed victory. That would be a start. Give Ukraine what they need to win. Do you know what United States gave to Ukraine? Our old bullets, our old tanks, our old armament. And we gave them a bunch of air defense, but it's air defense that they can't afford. It costs you millions of dollars to shoot those missiles down. We got rid of our old crap. We didn't give them money. We didn't give them anything. And Trump won't even give them humanitarian aid because Russia has got a copy of his sex tape. Russia owns Trump. Israel owns Trump. He's their bitch. That's the way it appears to me. Feel free to disagree. Jump in the chat if you like. That's why the chat's enabled. If I just wanted to rag on people, I wouldn't enable the chat. Your opinion matters. What you want to talk about matters. I don't have an agenda for this show. I don't have a script. I talk about what's on my mind. I got up this morning, I had my coffee and my bagel. I sat here and I watched the news, and all of these network channels were all back in pro-war, pro-war. Bullshit. America is not pro-war. You send your kid. Leave our kids alone. If these people aren't raping children, they're sending them into harm's way to die. These people have no conscience. They have no morals. They have no ethics. They want to steal money. They want to have power. They want to make decisions that matter to them. They already have generational wealth. They don't have to work anymore. Their children don't have to work, and their grandchildren don't have to work, but yet they still want more money. I guarantee you, next year, Trump's going to come before Congress and he'll say, well, we need $1.5 trillion for the military. Why? They get damn near $1 trillion every year and have for decades. They're pissing away our money. If they can't steal it, they'll spend it on weapons. It's pathetic. The Epstein class and the billionaire pedophile elite of the United States of America are running the world economy into the ground so that they can go through and buy it up on the cheap. Watch what they do. It's just like with that tax cut for the rich that Trump passed as soon as he got into office this time. What did you see? $1 trillion in stock buybacks. I don't think you people know how much $1 trillion is, but our country is $40 trillion in debt. And they're spending more on war than they are on domestic policy. They just took away health care. They just cut food stamps on the American people. And they're spending trillions of dollars at war to cover up and distract you. They don't want you to know that they are in the throes of their own debauchery. I guarantee you, they're still molesting children. They're still buying and selling women. They're not going to stop. They will continue unless we hold them all accountable. The only way to hold them all accountable is to prosecute them for their crimes. You and I get prosecuted for everything we do. It's time for them to get prosecuted for their crimes. Don't believe the numbers they're showing you. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is a fraud. He got convicted 34 felony counts of cooking the books. He never saw a day in jail for cooking the books. So guess what he's still doing? Cooking the books. Unemployment is up over 5%. The United States economy is shrinking. He started a trade war with the world. Exports are down. Imports are down. He fired 250,000 government employees. They're no longer getting paychecks. All of these things are negatives. You cannot get positive growth in our economy with all these negatives. It's impossible. He's cooking the books. The war that they've started will continue to rise inflation. Your prices at the store are going to get higher. This cycle will not end until these people are prosecuted and held accountable for their crimes. I'm sorry to be ragging on you about this, but this is what's on my mind. Jump in the chat. You want to talk about recipes or something? It's okay with me. But this is the kind of crap that's on my mind, because this is the kind of crap that's happening. All war is bad. Even when you win a war, it's bad. You have lost. You have suffered. War takes a toll on everyone. Always has, it always will. Anybody with any common sense knows. Stop making war. Stop killing people. The human race is currently shooting itself in the foot. The human race is repeating its mistakes from its past. We cannot have progress when we're running around killing one another. The cures to our diseases, the fix to our problems comes from our children. We need to educate our children and our grandchildren until they are educated enough to solve all of our problems. When we kill, we end bloodlines. When we end these bloodlines, we stagnate the progress of the human race. All death is bad. That's my opinion. All right, I'm going to wind this down. I need to smoke a bowl and go for a walk. I need some fresh air, clear my head, get all these nasty ass war thoughts out of it, all these child molesters, all these criminals. God, they sicken me. The show's called Afternoon Chat. It's Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Ghost Mosley. You'll find that this show has no script. It has no agenda. The people in the chat actually determine what we talk about. When no one jumps in the chat, we're left with my imagination and whatever's on my mind on a given day. And there's no telling. Every day I get on here, I'm just winging it. I do not have anything set to talk about. I don't have a plan. My plan is to get the show on the air and give the people in the chat total control. You want to talk about your college classes? You want to talk about Christmas cookies recipes? You ever wanted to have a conversation with your TV? Here's your chance. I got to end the poll now. Look at that. I remembered to start and end a poll in the same day. Evidently, it was a bad poll because nobody voted, but at least I remembered to start and stop the dang thing. That's one day in a row. I'm on a roll. My point is to give you guys the free show, give you guys the opportunity to speak your mind. I don't require you to. If no one jumps in the chat, I talk. I talk to you about what's on my mind. I'm not going to stream dead air. You get the opportunity to chat, but you're not required to. I do, however, appreciate all those that do chat. I appreciate all those that view. I need you to like and subscribe for the success of the channel, but that's a YouTube thing. That's not a me thing. I have nothing behind a paywall. I'm not trying to chase you down and tackle you or your wallet. I'm not running for political office. I am not coming out with a line of merchandise. You, the viewer, have total control of this show. Feel free to exercise it. I'm giving you 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. I'm going to feel good at the end of this show. I spoke what was on my mind. Okay. I vented. Okay. I'm going to smoke a bowl, go for a walk in the park, come home, make myself a nice, pleasant dinner. Probably watch a little Tragedy Tales. Friend of the show. I like his channel. It is my firm belief that if you're constantly nice to everyone, all that kindness will come back to you tenfold. Back in the 70s, I saw a study one of the colleges did. And it said that no matter what laws were passed in the United States, no matter what laws they passed, no matter how militarized they made the police force, the criminal population, the felony criminal in the United States of America remained at 7%. They could pass 10 more laws, but they couldn't change that percentage. It remained at 7% of the population. What I gleaned from that was that 93% of us are not felony criminal. It is my firm belief that the good guys outnumber the bad guys by a lot, almost 10 to 1. I know your TV tries to scare you on a daily basis. These people are telling you to hate one another, to fear one another. They're implying that there's a bad guy on every corner in America. It's bullshit. It's lies. They're doing this to control and manipulate you. That's their plan. They divvy you up into subgroups, Republican and Democrat. And then they tell the subgroups the exact same thing. The other side's out to get you. They're coming for you. You better strike first. It's bullshit. It's not true. They're using your fears to control and manipulate you. Get up, walk over, hit your light switch. Does the power come on? The power comes on. Why? Because the people at the power company go to work every day. Doesn't matter whether they're Christian or Muslim. No. Doesn't matter whether they're black or white. No. Doesn't matter whether they're Democrat or Republican. No. They're dependable. They're reliable. If for some reason the power doesn't come on, you can pick up your phone and they'll get on those repairs right away, sir. There's one human race on this planet. Their religion, their politics, their race doesn't matter. These are dependable, reliable people, just like you. When the shit hits the fan and we're all standing in flood waters, these people that are telling you to hate one another ain't going to be there. These people that are telling you to lash out against one another ain't going to be there. Who's going to be there? Your neighbors. They're going to be in a boat and they're going to pull you out of the water because it's the right thing to do. And we as human beings always do the right thing. We care. We're empathetic. And we'll be standing side by side when we have to clean all of this up and put it all back together. Don't believe the rhetoric. If you're an American, your fellow American is not your enemy. The people on TV that are telling you he is, that's the true enemy. United we stand, divided we fall. Go ahead, watch the news, and they're going to divide you all. Thanks. I appreciate you guys. Come see me tomorrow at 3 Eastern. Okay? I'll be here. I'll be reliable. I'll be dependable. This show will be here. If you want to talk, you can. Right here. Speak your mind. With all that said, Ghost Mostly signing off. See you guys tomorrow. Be safe. Be happy. And find someone to love. I dare you. Bye.